think we're on live.
Okay, great.
Not yet. Hi. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can we all hear us well? Okay, nice to see everyone for this first symposium about Ramadan on Cafe Talk. So I am Haifa from Cafe Talk Tutor Support, and today I'm with two tutors from our website. So with Noshin, who's in the United States, and with Cindy in Indonesia. So today we want to share a bit of our experience as Muslim and talk a bit and introduce Ramadan culture to everyone on the website. Everyone, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Doing well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's introduce a bit Ramadan. So Ramadan, how would you easily explain Ramadan, Noshin, to someone who doesn't know what it is at all?
All right, so I would say that Ramadan is a month in which Muslims fast, meaning that they don't eat, drink, or have sexual relations for 30 days from between sunrise to sunset. Yes, and at the end, there is a celebration and a prayer that they do together. And also every night in Ramadan, there is a community prayer that we do together at the mosque or at home after the fast is completed.
では一応、だいたい日の出から日没まで断食になります。1ヶ月間で。So for 30 days.
Yes, usually for 29 or 30 days. Yes.
29 or 30 days. And I think it depends. Every year it changes a bit depending of the lunar calendar, right?
Yes, yes.
So, and can you tell us a bit why do Muslim fast for a whole month?
Yes, we fast really because Allah, God, told us to fast, of course. The effects, I think, are that we learn self-control. We also learn to be grateful for the blessings that we have, food and drink, and to get together as a community. And also during our prayer time, during our prayers, after we finish fasting, we do read our holy book, the Quran, in the prayers. So it also gives us an opportunity to practice reading our book as well, our holy book, the Quran.
I see. So prayers is also a huge part of Ramadan. Is there a difference in the prayers that you do during the rest of the year and during Ramadan?
Oh yes, of course. In Ramadan, we have the extra prayer that we do in the evening at nighttime after we finish breaking our fast. A little bit sometime later, we do an extra prayer, and in that prayer we recite Quran, and many Muslims try to finish the whole Quran during that time. That prayer, the Quran is recited out loud. So we are together as a community, we are praying, and we hear the Quran being recited. And that really does touch and affect the heart. I don't know. I mean, Cindy, I'm sure knows would you agree with me, Cindy, that it does affect the heart?
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Yes.
Cindy, when did you start fasting? How do you start? When do Muslims actually start to fast?
Based on my knowledge, I think we started to fast when we reached the certain age. Like for women, we started our period, I think, and for men, I'm not sure. Maybe Noshin can correct me. For men, it probably like when they they
Reach
have,
puberty as well.
yes,
Yeah.
they reach the puberty, right? And that's like become we are it's like the fasting in Ramadan, it becomes like compulsory for us.
Yes. So the children are not fasting.
Well, some children fast and some children don't. My children, they started quite early, maybe not fasting every day. Sometimes my children would fast the whole day, or sometimes they might fast for half the day, or they might not fast every day. So it's really up to the child what they would like to do.
Okay. Are there other people who are not fasting?
Yes, women who, as we said, women who are menstruating, as well as people, the elderly, if they find themselves to be too weak to fast, people who are sick or may have like a, what we might call a comorbidity, meaning like they might have diabetes or perhaps a heart condition or a very severe digestive issue or anything that would reduce their health. Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding as well. These are all conditions that excuse a person from fasting if they have to not fast.
So I will just translate for a second. 生理中の女性の方と、妊娠の方も、断食は一応やっていません。それで、病気の人とか子供は子供によってやっている場合があります。それで、多分一応老人も、健康が少し弱い人がやらなくても大丈夫です。はい。So it's not fasting is not something that is supposed to make the bodies more tired or anything. It's not. It's really how would you describe that? I think it's a purification of the body, of the soul. Cindy, how do you also feel the Ramadan and people around you, your family?
I think we become more healthy. To be honest, like for my personal experience, I feel like more focused on concentrated when I study. Of course, like if we feel hungry, there are times that we feel kind of like weak, but at the same time, within days, at the beginning of the Ramadan, it can be a little bit like struggling, kind of, because it's like transition time. But after that, actually, we feel absolutely fine. There's nothing really we feel like weak or tired or anything. It's just like our body kind of get used to it, and then everything is just fine, I think, and we become more like, in my opinion, even like for those who have a skin like sensitivity, like reddish or anything, it can be cured during the fasting, during the Ramadan. Some of my friends experience this, so, and I do believe like it can actually give a lot of health benefits.
That is a great way, I guess, to get the body restarted too, and yes, because most of the time, also let's talk about what do we eat during the night, because we don't just eat break the fast with food that would be, I guess, maybe more junk food or usual food. It's more like a how do you not a party every day, but that's a great table that you can see every day. We have different examples for students on the website. Hello everyone on the comments on the website. I'm checking. Yes, the kodomo wa mainichi. Yes, it really depends of the children if they want to fast. Oh, do we have all the comments on the website? It's interesting that you say your body gets used to it. I have never fasted before. Thank you, Madden, for your comments. Yes, I think I would definitely agree with you, Cindy. The first days are the worst, and then after like 4 or 5 days, it's fine. The body gets used to it, but definitely the first day, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. But yes, once the sun sets, we start eating, and for everyone on the website, there's like, for example, picture number 3. We can see different examples of tables and plates that we have. Picture number 4, you can also see everyone reuniting. And picture number 5 too. I guess, yes, Ramadan is a great way to have the whole family together. Usually, Noshin, what do you cook during Ramadan?
Well, I try very hard to make Ramadan exciting and enjoyable for my children. So we do try to have a variety. We have these snack foods that we call samosas or sambusas, which are fried pastries stuffed with different fillings. For example, you could have like lamb or chicken, or perhaps cheese or vegetables, or seafood, for example. We also have to have soup. And usually I keep the soup very simple, generally like a cream soup of like maybe beets or carrot or something like that, or like a very, very simple chicken noodle soup. And also my children, they love what we call smoothies. I'm sure you may have something like that in Japan, where we basically we blend together. For example, I might do like a mango with a little bit of cream, some honey, for example. Or I might even do like as a treat, like a coffee smoothie with coffee and a little bit of chocolate. Or sometimes I might make what's called a green smoothie, where I put berries, like raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and add like a few greens like spinach or kale or something like that. So yeah. That's for the meal, for the what we call the iftar, where we're breaking the fast. Then usually after that we will pray and then go to the prayer at the mosque, and when we come back we will have our dinner. And that's a little bit heavier, which would be like, for example, a rice and meat dish, or for example, rice and lentils and chicken, or for example, fish, pasta and sauce and meatballs. So, just different things. Usually my children, by the time they've had the iftar meal, which is more interesting to them, they're not really interested in eating the real dinner per se. They generally just go back and snack on what for them are the fun dishes.
Mhm. Yes, I guess it's a way to make it more exciting. So for everyone on the website, I think we had a problem with the comments. Please do not hesitate to just reload the page to be able to see and add comments to the chat. Samosa. Samosa ですね。Samosas are very popular. There's a picture number 10. If you're on the website, you can see an example of a table and how it is dressed. So yes, I think the soup is like a huge part of every meal. In Algeria and Morocco, we have the shorba, harira, different type of soups, which is the base that we have every day. And samosas, we have the kind of the same type called bureka, the bricks, and it's very nice. A lot of different things inside. You can put cheese, or tuna, or just meat. It's very, very good. そうですね。大体国によっていろいろな食べ物がありますけど、毎日のイフトルの時に、この断食をやめる時に、いつもこのスープがあります。なんかショルバとかヒリラとか、国によって少し違います。それで、 インドネシアの方はどうになりますか？Cindy, how is it in Indonesia? So just the few pictures after, if you're on the website, you can see the pictures. What do you eat in Indonesia during Ramadan?
Right. Actually, it's pretty much similar in terms of how do we break the fast. Like Noshin said, we tend to have like a light meal or snacks right after the Maghrib or the sunset, and then after that we do the prayers, and then we eat like the big meal, like the heavy meal or the main course, like rice and meat and fish and so forth. So about the food, I think Indonesians also love. It can be dry snack, or it can be also like soup, something like that. And Indonesians, we love banana so much, so we do have like banana soup. I sent you the picture yesterday.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
if
that
you're
one.
ウェブサイトで、13ページで、page number 13, there's this soup, banana coconut milk. Yes. Okay.
And yeah, it's very sweet. It's not really light meal actually. Like I think it's pretty much heavy already. But yeah, we Indonesian, because we eat rice, and there's like the main course is still heavier, much heavier than that. So it's better just to take the soup first and then go praying, so that you will not fall asleep, in the middle of the prayer. So you
Yes.
can, yeah, you can just take like light meal and then pray, and then after that like gather again with the family and eat the proper meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yes, I think it really depends how to break the fast. Usually, I remember I would see my mom breaking with dates and ulben, this kind of milk, the special milk that I didn't really like. But yeah, the dates too are very, very popular, I think, everywhere. And the pictures just before on page 12, page 12, 12ページで、他のインドネシアの食べ物。Is it the rice cake? I think it was the rice cake. Do you eat this
Yeah.
after?
Oh, for the rice cakes, we eat it on the Eid day, like to celebrate the end of the Ramadan. Yeah, it's not during the Ramadan, because it's a little bit. It takes time. It's a little bit, yeah, complicated.
Yes. Oh, like that's a good thing to say too. So do you have specific food also for Eid? Maybe we'll move on to this one after. I need to check the comments. Looks good. Oh, it's great. The comments are working. The banana soup looks very good. It looks very good. Okay. I need to take another look. Okay. Can you tell us a bit about your experience? I think it would be interesting as a Muslims when you were in different countries. I was personally born and raised in France, and I'm originally from Morocco and Algeria, so in North Africa, and I now live in Japan. So, Noshin, can you start? Can you tell us a bit about your experiences through different countries?
Yes, sure. So, my parents are originally from Bangladesh, but I was raised in America. So, America is, very diverse, of course. So, our mosque, basically, we have people from many different parts of the world, that come to the mosque. For example, we do have many Muslims from Algeria and Morocco. We do have some from Indonesia, also from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, African countries, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia. So it's really nice. We get to, at our mosque, what we do is we have usually, of course, 29 to 30 days of fasting. And we always have, every night we have a community iftar. So every night, usually what happens is that one ethnic group will sponsor the iftar. So it's not an official group or anything like that, but for example, a group of friends from Somalia, or for example, my mother and her friends from Bangladesh, or, some Indian families. And they will generally make their own ethnic foods that they have for Ramadan for the iftar. So it's really very nice. We get to sample food from many different countries as well. Sometimes people bring, fun foods, just like pizza from Pizza Hut, at the same time. So we do get to experience that, or chocolate chip cookies, which are a favorite of mine. So that's what we do in America. I did live for many years in Saudi Arabia, and usually what they do in Saudi Arabia is that what we do is we invite our friends to our homes for iftar. Generally, the iftars that are served in public tend to be for people that may not be able to cook it at home. For example, workers, or people who don't, or may not. May be in financial difficulty, for example. And in Saudi Arabia also, the restaurants tend to be closed during the day, but they are really full usually for iftar. So we me and my family, we would often go out, especially on the weekend, for to have our iftar, especially if I didn't feel like cooking as well. So yeah, so just a little bit different in each country, I think. Yeah.
And it's great that you have this experience in, I guess, in the US and Saudi Arabia, which has Islam as the first religion there. So I'll just take a look also at the question at the same time. How do you cook banana soup?
Oh, that's interesting. I myself honestly never cooked that one.
Really?
I'm the eater, not the cooker. But I think it's very simple, because the coconut, the coconut is just like like you grout. Is it correct? Like yeah, you it's like you can like the coconut ground. How it's like the ground when you grout it. How do you say this
you
in
peel
English,
it?
Noshin?
I'm sorry?
You peel it? The banana?
The
No, it's
banana?
like you grout. Is it correct in English? Like grout it? The
Grind it? Grind?
grind. The
Grind,
coconut, not the banana. The
Grate.
banana you
Grate.
simply just cut
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think usually we say we grate the coconut, yeah?
Yes, the
Grate.
coconut, and then you pressed it, and that's the milk where you want it to make the
Yes.
soup, and you boil the banana with it, and of course with the brown sugar and some spices like cinnamon to have a good smell,
Oh, yeah.
something
Yes.
like that. Yeah, this. So I think this as simple as that. So and then it's
that sounds so
yeah.
good. That sounds so good.
I know, doesn't it?
Are dates different the spices from usual ones? いつもすいません. Squashing. Maybe that's squashing that you wanted to say. No? Is it this word?
Oh, it was squashing?
No.
Oh, you mean the banana, the
banana.
the coconut? Yeah.
That was that.
So the coconut is grated, yeah, and then you probably press it to get the juice out.
Right.
I'm not a cooking expert myself, so
that sounds so good. いつも食べるdatesどっちがいますか? I think it's the same. I bought sometimes last year and the year before dates in Japan, and I think they were the same. I think there's few differences between the countries. I remember. I will say that the ones from Algeria are pretty good. But but that's it. Tudor Notions Mosque sounds so international. This is true. It sounds like you live in a great diverse place. If people live far from their family home, do they celebrate with friends? So yes, that's an interesting one. I guess I will just take the lead a bit for this one, if I can. So I've been doing Ramadan in Japan for soon my third year, and yes, it's a great time to reunite with the community. So I would say with friends, with Muslim friends who are also fasting is the best. And as you mentioned, Noshin, in Saudi Arabia, and I guess in a lot of mosques, people go to daily iftars when they're alone, or when they don't have a lot of resources, because
Yes.
Ramadan really has this sense of community, and it's not that I would say we're not supposed to eat alone, but we're supposed to try to be with the community if we can. Sometimes we cannot, and that's a bit sad and unfortunate. But yes, the best is to try to go, and all mosques are open for people who want to go. And I know that if I want to go, I can go eat either with my friends, or we can go at the mosque together. So that's a great time to share
Yes.
the meal,
Yes.
I would say. Mm. Yes, I think it's also a way, in all the benefits of the Ramadan, come closer to the community, come closer to your family, and also come closer to God, with the prayers. さっき言った通りに、この普通の、祈りと違いますので、夜の方はもっと長く特別の祈りが、mosque? How do we say mosque in Japanese? How do we say mosque in Japanese? Mosque? みんなと祈っています。We can pray all together during, that's a great moment. And I think the Imam reads the Quran, right? Is leading, right?
Yes, yes. So the imam is the man who leads the prayer, and usually we do 11 units of prayer. Could be, for example, in Mecca they do 20, so it's longer. And in our mosque we do, I believe, 20. It just depends on the mosque, whatever their preference. Usually you do either 11 or you might do 21. And during that time, the Imam would recite what he knows from the Quran. Many Imams have memorized the whole Quran, and the people praying behind him, usually would appreciate him reciting more rather than less, just so that we can listen more, reflect more. Yes. So, yes, the Imam recites, and we pray quietly behind and listen. So,
earlier yes, we had your great point of view about your experience abroad. Cindy, can you tell us more about Indonesia and also your other experience of Ramadan in different countries?
Yeah, I also actually lived in Japan for almost like 4.5 years, I think. And I was living in Matsuyama, Ehime Prefecture, and I think in Japan it's pretty like very small province, and especially for the Muslim community is like very, very small. Majority are from Indonesia and Malaysia. Very few international students or international friends that I met are Muslim. But normally during the Ramadan, we kind of like gather, we have kind of like a schedule, gather from one apartment to another, like one friend apartment, and then like we cook food together, or some of them like just bring the food that they made from their home, and then we are kind of like welcome everyone. It can be Muslim or non-Muslim, just like eat together, like eat dinner together, something like that. Or we can also like maybe eat out together, something. Yeah, in Japan that's how we did. Even like for the Eid day, we make it as a like international food food festival basically. Because yeah, after the praying together, and then we in the university, because I was a student at that time, it's like on the field, like on the what on the ground, like public space, we have like food festival to celebrate, and then like all international students and international friends can come in and try our food. Yeah, that's how we did in Japan. because in Matsuyama we don't have the mosque yet. So basically we pray in any space like available. Or like for women, most of the times during the Ramadan we pray at home, something like that. And the men, we, because of the limited space, as you know, Japan are very tiny apartment, like almost all spaces are quite cute. So for the men, they can use like one of our like family apartment that's quite big enough, and then gather and pray there. But for the women, we pray by our like ourselves at home. Something, yeah.
Mhm.
That's my experience in Japan. And in Indonesia, I think it's not that very special. Maybe it's pretty much the same. We pray together, both women and men, in the mosque during the Ramadan, and for the Eid as well. We pray in the mosque, yeah, with
Mhm.
family.
And how is it in Indonesia? As I think it Indonesia's a Muslim population is one of the biggest in the world, right?
Yeah, it is actually the biggest one in the
Okay.
world.
And
Yeah.
and is the how is the country there? Is it more like Saudi Arabia, where everything is closed? How does the life is during Ramadan outside?
Oh, right. Maybe why I think Indonesia is the largest Muslim population. It is correct, but it also because Indonesian population, I think, is like the fifth biggest population in the world, I believe. So that's just why Indonesia has like the largest Muslim population. But in terms of um, what is like the strictness of the Islamic regulations or law, it is very separate from the country's law or regulations. We do accept and respect other religions as well. So I'm not sure about the like in Saudi Arabia, because I myself never really lived there. But for the restaurants, we do still open like uh, during Ramadan. But of course, some of them, it depends on the owner. If the owners like willing to close the restaurant during the Ramadan, then they can do that. But I think still in the city, majority of the restaurants still open, but they do put like some of them put a curtain, like to cover the transparent glasses, something like that, to respect the ones that who are fasting.
That's interesting, because yes, I think it really depends of the countries and their laws. では一応、インドネシア、まあ、正解でインドネシアイスラム教がフォローしている方は一番多い、国籍はインドネシア人ですけど、まだ、そこでところによって、例えばレストランが、店長によって普通に開けているところもあって、閉めているところもあります。それで、時々カーテンだけが閉めていて、まだレストランでお客さんが入っていることですね。はい。That's very interesting to know about that. It may be also maybe easier depending of the countries, I guess, when you're fasting, when you feel like everyone is doing it. So I guess maybe in Saudi Arabia it must have been feeling easier. Personally, back in France, everything was open, but in my city and in my environment, I was with a lot of other Muslims, my family and friends. So it all felt like we did it together. There's a lot of shops too, and it's very nice to feel part of this community. But yes, everything is still open. And as you said, Cindy, yes, in Japan, I guess it really depends of the places, because in my experience in Tokyo, everything is completely open, but there's a big mosque in Tokyo. And for thank you, Yamasa, for correcting me earlier. Mosque is mosque in Japanese, so
Mosque,
now I
I
know.
see.
Um, so Yes, there's a big mosque in Tokyo, and there's a lot of different places, a lot of smaller ones and places to pray. I know that they have a lot of activities during Ramadan. But yes, besides that, everything is open. There's a small community in Tokyo, so I guess it may be easier. But I cannot imagine in the countryside. Yes, you must have been feeling much alone. It must have been different. As you said also, Noshin, earlier, it's funny because you said that sometimes someone would bring a pizza.
Yes.
And I cannot help but think, let's be honest, we at least have 1 or 2 days during the month when we just eat some junk food.
Yes, of course, of course. Definitely, especially I think I would say towards the end, I think I would really say in the first half, because we are getting used to the fast and we're like very excited to have Ramadan upon us. So we really go all out. And of course, in the last few days, of course, I would say the flavor of Ramadan tends to become more quiet, tends to become quieter, more reflective. And it really, I do feel personally that it becomes less about the food and more about the other things, the worship. We tend also in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, we also have a community prayer an additional community prayer where we pray in the middle of the night as well. And and these are all voluntary prayers, by the way. No one has to attend them, and you don't actually have to pray them, but most of the Muslims that I know, they do pray them. So yeah, we tend to focus in especially I would say the last third of Ramadan, we become more reflective. We focus more on the prayers, more on reading, on finishing up. And we've had quite our fill of all of the extravagant and gourmet and, the very filling foods. And I've been known to order a pizza or two, or and have some leftovers, and maybe increase the types of soups that I might have, for example, in the last 10 nights, especially.
It's definitely it becomes the prayers, especially the last 10 days. It is known to be the most important times of the Ramadan, of the praying, the reflection, as you said, and also we talked a lot about the fasting and the food, because that's a huge part of the Ramadan, the praying too, and there's also the charity, the idea of giving, that is very important in Islam. Whenever you can, is there a specific charity to give during Ramadan?
Yes, we do have a charity that we are to give. Excuse me, within the last, I would say 2 to 3 days of Ramadan. It's called Zakat al-Fitr. And it's not money, it has to be in food, and it should be like a food that people can use and take home and make themselves. So for example, rice or wheat or, dates, things like that. And I think it's around, I think 2 to 4 pounds, I would say, a few kilos of food, and the mosque generally distributes it. In America, I think, honestly, we tend to be a little bit less needy. So our mosque, what they do is they might arrange for people in some needy countries to get that food stuff in their villages, for example.
I wanted to take a look at the pictures to check if I had the one. Yes, it would be the page number 6. You have an example of people sometimes just pay even to some mosque, and the mosque buy the food and just sends it. There's a lot of now it is also made like this a lot, so they made it much more bigger and easier for people to just give money instead of going and buy. It is all made much more easier, and that's also one of the important pillars of Islam, which the charity and giving. So especially obviously during this month, it is very, very important. And I wanted also to talk about, we mentioned it a bit before, the end of Ramadan. So Al-Eid, how do you do the Eid? What's happening?
So in America, what we do is, and actually in Saudi Arabia, the same. Generally, Generally, we Muslims go to the mosque, not to the mosque, sorry. We will usually rent like a convention center, and the Muslims in the area would all come and pray the Eid prayer, which is 2 units of prayer. It's very short. The Imam would pray those 2 units and then give a sermon. After we finish that, generally families and friends would, send each other Eid greetings. Oh, Eid Mubarak, that's what we say. Have a blessed Eid, Eid Mubarak, and then the children, everybody comes dressed in their nicest clothing, jewelry, everything, what have you. And our mosque here in America, what they do is they also have like goodie bags for children, which contain generally, some treats, some candies, some chocolates, little tiny toys, things that kids enjoy. And also, I know that when I was growing up, our family friends would give us money, not too much, a few dollars. And I I do have now I have quite a few family members in the area, and they give my children money, for example. And in the evening here, what we do is our mosque usually arranges a play place for the children to, we take our children there to play and enjoy themselves. And in Saudi Arabia, it's actually quite similar, I would say. We pray the Eid prayer, and then generally the women and the men, they would make goodie bags at home and then bring them and share them. And some women would even come and bring like 5 riyals or 5 riyal pieces and give them out. And there are tons, Saudi Arabia being a very family oriented society, there are tons of play places, and they're all open in Ramadan and the next few days, and we've taken our children many times to enjoy there.
That's
So,
great.
yes.
This is this is very for the kids too. This is the day where everyone just has to look their best. Everyone goes to the hairdresser or just has new clothing or something. So that's a great day, and we eat a lot of delicious food too. Depending of the countries, we do eat a lot of couscous or tagine. Picture number 24, you also have some examples of the desserts that we cook during the end, I would say, of Ramadan. We start cooking the desserts because it takes a lot of time, and we do a lot of those desserts. Then on the day of Eid, we go and give to the community, to the friends, to the family. So yes, this is also a huge important part. Cindy, how is it in Indonesia? Is it the same? Is it also kids focused? How would you describe Eid?
It's actually pretty much similar. It surprised me when, like when we talk to other Muslims from other countries, and we always talk about how do you celebrate the Eid, like how do you do the Ramadan, but when we share about our experience, it's actually pretty much similar how we celebrate it together. Like for example, Noshin said about the goodies bag for the kids, and also like we visit our relatives and friends during the Eid time, and then make cookies during the Eid, and then also like give some like few penny, like few money, like small money for the kids or relatives. Mostly for the relatives, we don't do it with friends. Usually we only give the money like for our relative, mostly kids. Yeah, so I think it's pretty much the same
Mm-hmm.
in Indonesia.
That's great. Um, I was taking a look at the comments at the same time. The last 10 days, yes, are very. All the days are important, but for some reason, the last 10 days are also known to be the one where we start to get a bit tired, and like we're very focused on the prayer, and it becomes a bit different. Charity is a part of it too, yes. Like the other pillars of Islam, we did just to say it quickly. Now that I remember, they're close. I think the how do you call that, the first one, Noshin? What is the name in English?
Of
Shahada?
Yes,
Shahada.
yes, Shahada in English.
Shahada, yes. Testament, or testament, basically, I would say.
Yes. So
attestation.
It's the face.
Confession, like confession of the faith, right?
Confession.
Yes.
Confession of
Definitely.
the faith, the daily prayers, the Ramadan, that is an important part, the charity during the whole year, and the Al-Hajj, the
Pilgrimage.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the pilgrimage to do at Mecca, at least once in a lifetime. So yes, sounds close. With January 1st for Japanese. Oh, do Japanese give also a lot of gifts and money to the kids? I didn't know for the 1st of January. And yes, also because it's part of our calendar. The lunar calendar is different for Muslims. So yes, I think. Yeah, the calendar, as we said before, it changes every year, right? Just 12 days.
Yes, 11 to 12 days. The lunar calendar, because the solar calendar tends to run 30 to 31 days. The lunar calendar tends to run 29 to 30 days. So it's about 11 to 12 days shorter each year. Yes. Which makes Ramadan end up being usually at different times of the year. It gets pushed back 11 to 12 days every year.
Great. So yes, I think we covered most of the topics that we wanted to do for today. So well, Ramadan should start, inshallah, hopefully Monday or Tuesday. So I would love for everyone who watched the live stream, if you want to know a bit more, search on the website, or search on the internet for Ramadan, and there's a lot of explanations. I think it's a great and very interesting part of Islam and Muslim culture. It's very fascinating. Even if you don't do it, I think it's very fascinating. And yes, for our website, our two tutors today, Noshin and Cindy, thank you a lot for participating. Can you please tell us a bit about your lessons or your experience on Cafe Talk?
Yes, sure. I'm actually new to Cafe Talk, but I'm definitely not new to teaching English. I used to work as a business English and academic English instructor for Saudi Aramco, which is a petroleum company. And I also worked as an academic English instructor at Princess Noor University in Saudi Arabia, which is interestingly the largest female university in the world. So yeah, so I just very recently joined Cafe Talk. The reason being, actually, I just when I was little, I had a excuse me, I had a Japanese neighbor, a friend of mine, when we were very little, kindergarten, first grade. And ever since then, I've been fascinated with Japan and the Japanese people and the Japanese language. So I've recently become interested in Japanese, in learning Japanese. And I myself am an online student of Japanese. So yeah, so I joined just to learn more about, just to be able to teach Japanese students and to learn a little bit more about Japanese culture. So I think it'll be interesting.
Thank you a lot. Cindy and you, can you tell us a bit about Cafe Talk?
Yeah, actually, I'm quite like old tutors, but been quite like on and off if I got busier at work, because I'm also a full-time employee in real life. But I started actually teaching at Cafe Talk since 2016. And yeah, I got an award actually for my one of my kids' lesson. In that time,
Oh,
I think it was like a winter. I forgot the name
Wow.
of the. Yeah, it was like winter 2016 Rookie Awards as a new tutor for kids lesson. So I think one of my most favorite lessons mostly are for kids. I do teach science, math, and also like English for kids mostly, but also I'm very much open to all ages, honestly, like even for adults as well. So yeah, I found that the most interesting part, that's why I keep coming back to Cafe Talk, like I keep teaching at Cafe Talk, is like the opportunity to meet students from all over the countries, not only Japanese. I do have like some Korean students also, like from other countries, and have the opportunity to meet people online, something like that, like share experience, because I believe that like tutorial students, we both are actually learning together.
Mhm.
When we when we during the lesson, I always trying to improve my teaching, like understand what's my students needs, because there is no like all for like one teaching approach for all, something like that. So yeah, keep improving myself on how can I deliver my lesson to my students better. Yeah, I think that's it from me.
Thank you. Thank you a lot to you both for participating today. It was very informative. Thank you everyone who watched the live stream. I'm very happy if you learned a lot. Me too. I thought the food looked delicious, and hopefully if you're a bit more interesting, please search for Ramadan. It's very interesting and fascinating. So thank you to both of you for participating, and hopefully
Thank
see you
you.
soon on the website.
Thank
Okay,
you too, Haifa.
thank you.
thank you,
You,
Haifa, very much.
Noshin.
Was very nice sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for arranging this. Thank you to Cafe Talk.
Thank you to Cafe Talk too.
Yes. So let's say arigatou gozaimasu.
Oh yeah,
Arigatou
arigatou
gozaimashita.
gozaimasu.